Donald Trump has a history in boxing, though it is not one to cherish.
Mr. Trump, you said that on June 27th there'd be 2 champions rounds?
That's right.
Well, we know about Tyson's speech. What's this about a fight before the fight?
No comment.
Mike Tyson, Michael Spinks.
Later, Trump outbid Caesars to host
The heavyweight title isn't going anywhere.
Here's for the senior citizen crowd.
Evander Holyfield versus George Foreman.
And this man has a lot to prove. Once the billionaire poster child of the economic excesses of the 80s, by hosting this fight at a cost of close to $12 million, he's out to prove, although for the record he'll deny it, that he can get off the canvas and make a comeback himself.
The problem was he screwed some of the biggest promoters in the sport.
Just days after the contract was signed, Trump found a way to save money and keep the fight. On January 17, 1991, the U.S. began bombarding Iraq during the First Gulf War. Days later, Trump informed both Duva and Aram he was invoking the Act of War clause in the contract, and they would have to settle for less.
So this is a threat to your business?
This was unprecedented.
Trump ended up saving money, but he would destroy his reputation in the sport, never to host a major title fight at his properties again.
If your claim to fame is that you've taken money from other people and not delivered what you promised, that doesn't make you a genius businessman, that makes you a thief.
He has attempted to get back in the good graces of those in the sport, speaking with the WBC belt in front of him, and posthumously pardoning the first black heavyweight champion, the great Jack Johnson. Yet one of the more startling revelations involving the former president and the sweet science was the financial disclosures for Trump, calling the Evander Holyfield-Vitor Belfort fight. Now, if you don't remember,
Donald Trump is honoring 9/11 and the memory of those who lost their lives and the legacy of war and destruction that followed thereafter by calling a fight starring Evander Holyfield in Hollywood, Florida.
Belfort would fight Oscar de la Hoya, who was scheduled for the bout only to test positive for the coronavirus. Thus, Holyfield took his place and sadly got pummeled via first-round knockout. It was controversial, to say the least. Holyfield was bordering 60 years of age at the time of the bout. Many believed he should not be fighting. The state of California would agree, and they would refuse to sanction it. Thus, they took this show to where else? The state of Florida. The final product drew much criticism online. Boxing News editor Matt Christie wrote, "Awful, horrible spectacle. No more. Please, no more." The promotional body's name that put on this entire card was called Triller. They have since ceased their promotion of boxing after failing to pay numerous boxers in the process on time. That includes former champ Sergey Kovalev and the Pulev brothers. One name that made a killing from Triller, that would be former President Donald Trump via the Post. Trump's single most lucrative speaking engagement was $2.5 million in fees from Triller Legends LLC in Hollywood, Florida on September 11th and September 12th, 2021. After this article posted online, a lawyer for Triller confirmed that was Trump's payment for commenting a fight between Holyfield and Belfort on the 20th anniversary of the September 11, 2001 terrorist attacks. Trump previously called the payment amount obscene, TMZ reported, but the exact amount does not appear to have been known until Trump's new filing. Here's another wrinkle of this. Triller would say in a statement to the Post, the payment made to Trump for his commentary was consistent with the fees typically received by celebrity commentators, and cited what it called Trump's successful hosting of previous boxing events. Now, if one were to just think, a few minutes ago, Bob Arum, Kathy Duva, and many others who were screwed in the process would likely have a far different perspective on this via MMA Mania. As for Trump, his $2.5 million paycheck to talk fights through Belfort's beating of Holyfield was part of roughly $1 billion in earnings he has amassed since stepping down as president.